Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. World Wrestling Entertainment made a big deal out of Jade Cargill's signing in the autumn of 2023. The same year, she entered the ring for the first time during the Women's Royal Rumble. Although the Storm exudes an air of mystery, many believe she has failed to develop as a wrestler. In a recent episode of K100, this came up as a subject of discussion. The question was put to Conan and Disco Inferno to determine whether talent, Jade Cargill, or the late Bray Wyatt was superior. The curious fan claims that Wyatt wasn't a great wrestler, but a great actor who brought incredible moments to screen. According to rumors, the mystery attacker plotline that has been building up on SmackDown will be the main attraction on the road to WrestleMania when the Storm makes her triumphant comeback. In November of 2024, she was removed off WWE TV. The plot involving Jade Cargill on SmackDown is making quite a stir. The latest information from Twinsider is that the company's goal is to remove her and Bianca Belair from any potential involvement with the Women's Tag Team Championships, preferably without causing them to relinquish their titles. Their goal is to get a match booking for them shortly. But the S may not be Jade's assailant after all. According to the article, WWE is looking into two potential perpetrators of the incident. Two Women's Tag Team Championships have been won by the Storm and the Est. Their most recent triumph was reclaiming the belts from the Unholy Union at Bash in Berlin. Despite their prominence inside the organization, veteran WWE writer Vince Russo remains skeptical of their abilities. Before WrestleMania 41, Russo shot against the idea that they might pull off a storyline similar to Mega Powers. Jade Cargill has been a sensation in the wrestling industry ever since she debuted, thanks to her magnetic personality, stunning good looks, and unparalleled agility. Her ascent to prominence in All Elite Wrestling, AEW, has been phenomenal, and her time as TBS champion has only served to strengthen her position. Still, many are quick to draw analogies to other well-known WWE champions, as is typical with anybody in a prominent position. Chyna, a former WWE champion, and Cargill are compared in a number of interesting ways. Both ladies had revolutionary careers and were dominant figures who changed how people saw women's wrestling. However, how objective is this contrast? Their stories, accomplishments, and feedback from experts in the field help to illuminate Cargill's development and prospects for the future. Chyna and Jade Cargill are very similar in many ways, but their physical dominance and attractiveness are the first things that come to mind. The ninth wonder of the world, Chyna, became an important character during the Attitude Era and broke limits in WWE by challenging male superstars. She broke new ground for women in professional wrestling with her strong body and her ability to hold her own against male competitors. In a similar vein, Cargill has been a focal point since her debut because to her towering stature and toned body. Just by walking in, she creates an electric atmosphere, much as Chyna did when she was at the top of her game. From her iconic entrance position to her self-assured personality, Cargill exudes an aura of star power. But seasoned pros in the field say just being physically there isn't enough to ensure a legacy that will survive. Recent commentary on Cargill's ascent came from Jim Cornette, a former wrestling manager and pundit renowned for his forthright beliefs. She seems to be worth $1 million, without a doubt. Her appearance and body are flawless. Cornette pointed out, however, that there's more to wrestling than meets the eye. There's an art to storytelling in the ring, and that's where she's still got some ground to cover. Chyna's power moves and evolving in ring psychology were the keys to her success in WWE. Despite her lack of technical prowess, her matches, especially those against Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero, displayed her developing skill in ring psychology and storytelling. Winning the Intercontinental Championships was a watershed moment in her career that proved she could compete at the highest level. The reactions on Cargill's performances in the ring have been more divided. Her athleticism is obvious. She was a standout on the college basketball team. However, her wrestling talents are still developing, according to some critics. What does Brian Last think of her technical abilities? He spoke about it on the Jim Cornette Experience. Jade has all the necessary skills to succeed, yet sometimes her matches come off as stiff and unnatural. There isn't quite the natural tempo and rhythm that comes with expertise just yet. This kind of criticism is frequent among newbies. Timing, ring awareness, and the capacity to react on the fly are wrestling technicalities that need years to perfect. Despite her dominance, Cargill's matches might be paced poorly, which shows how inexperienced she is. It should be mentioned, however, that Chyna, too, was the target of such accusations when she was just starting out. Until she trained with more seasoned opponents, she lacked self-assurance while competing. Promotional potential is another area of comparison. As a member of D-Generation X, Chyna's early WWE roles focused more on physical intimidation than mic work. Her love subplot with Eddie Guerrero, in particular, allowed her latter years to become a more distinct identity while showcasing her charm and humorous timing. But Cargill has been in the limelight as a solo artist from the start. She exudes an air of dominating championism, which is in keeping with her character's inflated sense of self-confidence and brazenness. Her promotional videos and signature phrases like "Levesque" reflect her self-assured demeanor in the ring. However, detractors claim that her delivery isn't always nuanced. According to Vince Russo, a former writer for WWE, Jade needs to find more layers to her character, while having the charisma of a superstar. In order to really connect with the audience, the greatest champions display a wide variety of emotions, including vulnerability, rage, comedy, and more. She is excellent now, but she has the potential to be amazing. The opportunity to learn from more seasoned performers was a huge boon to Chyna during her time in WWE. Her learning curve was accelerated by working with veterans like Triple H and Shawn Michaels. While the more free-form structure of AEW isn't always conducive to Cargill's growth, he has profited by collaborating with Bryan Danielson and Mark Henry, two giants in the industry. Henry has spoken out particularly regarding Cargill's abilities. As an athlete, Jade is in a league of her own. She has achieved a remarkable amount in a very little period of time. Everyone seems to have forgotten how long it takes to hone one's performance skills. She's doing it live, in front of an audience. That's quite a burden, but she's managing it well. Since both Jade Cargill and Chyna broke barriers and brought their own special brand of charm and agility to the ring, it's only fair to say that the two are comparable. But Cargill's road is totally hers. Compared to Chyna's wrestling career in the 90s and zeros, wrestling in 2025 offers new obstacles and possibilities. Further expansion is critical to Cargill's future. She might become one of the best female wrestlers of all time if she gets more experience and faces tough opponents. Her in-ring narrative and character work will benefit greatly from her willingness to learn and grow. Wrestling is about making an emotional connection with the crowd, not only about winning. The keys are in Jade's hands. The next step is to hone them. Jade Cargill's path will be widely watched by the wrestling world. Is she going to grow into a versatile performer who goes beyond comparisons? Or will her physical abilities be all that characterize her? The future may hold more surprises. But Jade Cargill seems set to make a lasting impression on the business based on her trajectory so far.